Hey Nolan, my name's Lucas. I made some changes to your handle task execution mostly, just trying to make a pop-up JavaFX window. So this is basically going to still have like a lot of the same stuff, like your start connection, getting your tasks, all that kind of stuff from your update operations. Excuse me. But the most of it is actually in here. So if the task is the first task ID is one, which is going to be your one-dimensional arrays, it's going to do these equals ignore cases. So this is for print all values, and then there's expand the array and shrink the array. Those are kind of like unique to not have to have a pop-up, because in the print all values, you don't really want it, like you don't want it to ask for more user input. It's just going to print the values. And then the same for the expand array and shrink the array. For the one-dimensional array, at least, you're just shrinking it in one direction, so it shouldn't really change. I was having a lot of issues with both of those cases, though, so they might not be working 100% as intended. Uh, the else one is going to just be everything else, so it's going to give you, like, it's going to call on this 1D array operations pop-up, which is a separate class they made, and that's going to do the whole display. And then it gets the information from that and passes it to your server, just like you had kind of set it up with these custom requests and custom response and everything. Um, that's kind of it for task ID 1. Task ID 2 actually just calls on this separate method in this client GUI, just so I could read it better. So this one is just gonna hop down here. It gives it the operation and the operation ID. That's this string and this integer. So down here, it's doing a very similar thing as the first case up here, but basically the big differences are that it has only it has two ignore cases instead of three. It's got the print all values again, and then the find index of a value. So the find index of a value is like, we don't really want it to be. I did this, but then I also did it inside the two-dimensional array class. So I'm not sure if maybe you only need one, but we don't really want it. We only asking for value, so we don't really care for the row and the column. And then down here is the same stuff. I tried to leave the rest of your code pretty much like the same. It was mostly just these two methods that I changed. I think I did take out a bunch of stuff out of here, out of the start, because that was creating the layout box and everything, and I needed to remove those old input windows. So in the one-dimensional array, it's pretty straightforward. It's just creating a stage with the title, ask for the index value if required, and then a confirm button to close it out. So it's pretty easy. This one is a lot easier for me to understand than the other one. This is going to be the two-dimensional arrays pop-up. So this is the display that we call on. It creates a stage and everything, and then this is an if case. So if find index of a value is called that operation, then we just do one uh, like label box, or what is it called, like value field. So there's only one value field here, and this down here is for everything else. So that's why we have a row of like a row and a column for value fields, and then the value for value field. So the two different cases here, and then there's also a show alert that I added, so that will just pop up with different alerts depending. You could take it out; it's not really necessary, but I think like these show alerts, like, oh, the input accepted successfully or invalid input, things like that. Like, just so you can kind of know what's going on. Let's see here. Let's run the server. I also tried to leave the server like pretty much completely alone. I might have made like one or two small changes in the. You could probably see that inside the. What is it? In the GitHub. But I tried to leave it alone. Same with the custom request, custom response. I don't think I touched those. I did touch the array operations for one thing. I think it was set at index. I just made it so it would automatically call the expand array, and I moved some stuff around because it wasn't working when I first got it. Like when I first unless I was doing it wrong, I might have been, but it wasn't working what I think you wanted it to do. So then when we run the client, so here we go. This is gonna be our 1D operations. And then you choose the operation just like you had it. Notice the old value fields are gone though. So let's do print all values and execute. And right now I was doing some testing so that it's got some crazy numbers in it. Um, but I honestly like that was my bad. I should have reset the file here. But you can like still do the other stuff. So like update value at index. It's gonna ask for the index. So let's do the first one, and we're gonna do 2. And it still gives out the old messages and everything because I didn't really change anything else. It was just like these windows pop up. So here's that 2 right there. Um, and then for the expanding the array expanded, it says it's expanded, but when you print it out, it doesn't really like nothing changes. Like it's or if you go also for shrink the array, like it doesn't really change for some reason in the one-dimensional array operations. If you go to the two-dimensional array, so right now if we print it, it's all zeros. We can shrink it, so we can do, let's just do 2 and 2, and then you can print it again, and yeah, it's tiny now. And then you can also like expand it again, so you could do 4 and 4, success. There you go. So now it's back to like its old size, and you can set the values. So we do this one, and 65 for sure. And that should, yeah, 65 for the first one. You can also do, let's see here, get value at, and then we'll just give it 3 and 2, and it's 0 at 3 and 2. So yeah, that was all I basically did. Um, it I did touch like I was trying to keep the code pretty much the same, but I was having a lot of issues, so I started like messing in more and more with the client GUI.java. So unfortunately, it wasn't as like contained as I wanted it to be, but I hope you don't mind. Thank you.